Courtney LaPlante from Spiritbox, and I'm so excited about Tsunami Sea coming out because the three songs you have out right now, um, I love all three of them. So the new single "No Loss, No Love," that song, it like I've never chopped wood in my life, but it makes me want to like. It makes me feel like makes me want to chop wood. It makes me like. I feel like I like my radio listeners. I tell them, hey, listen on the app. You could be my cardio buddy. Like Spirit Box, go on the treadmill, listen to No Loss, No Love. It's like Spirit Box is greater than Ozempic.
Like, well, that would solve a lot of my problems if that was true. But I just literally like I just ran off stage at our rehearsal from doing that song, and it's so fun. Like we have the first show, we have a Europe tour right now before the US headlining tour. So, all our songs are now, but that one just came out and we're so excited. It's gonna be the first time getting to play it. And I'm
Yeah,
already like just from rehearsing and playing in front of our crew. I'm really excited. It's super fun.
it's such a great song. It's so heavy. It's so like I said, it makes me like crazy. Like if I like I like I eat like a slob, right? So I'll take like a week where I like basically starve myself, or I'll eat like In-N-Out burgers wrapped in lettuce or something, like something stupid like that, and then I'll lose like 10 pounds. And then, but if I just listen to No Loss, No Love, it makes me like crazy. So like if I could just do that every day, I'll probably lose a lot of weight.
Let's do it as an experiment. We'll hold each other accountable.
Yeah. Let me ask you this too. In the video, you're wearing that lipstick. Have you thought about selling that lipstick on your merch stand? Because I feel like you'd make a lot of money off that. Trying to make you
You know
some
what's
extra money here.
what's cool? It's black lipstick. My makeup artist Christina is so creative, and we had this idea of having like these black diamond, crystals all over my lips. And we had done it at another photo shoot, and it just took so long. And we knew for this music video, I really wouldn't have like a long time to get ready. We had to be done. It's a 1 day shoot.
Yeah.
And so all we did was put black lipstick on me and then put like something, like lip gloss on or whatever. And then I had a plate full of like actual, like loose, actual little crystals.
Oh,
And
those
I
are
just,
crystals. I thought that was like part of the lipstick.
yeah. And I just put my face, I kissed the plate. And the whole time that luckily that scene wasn't very long. It was just me standing there looking creepy. But like,
Yeah.
I consumed so many crystals. I was like, this is really, really bad for me. Because I just swallow them when I was talking. They were not like, but it was a quick, like little innovative thing. I'm glad you think it looked cool because it looked awesome on film.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I like the outfit you wore too at Sick New World. It looks like the Cobra Kai skeleton outfit, kind of. You know what I'm talking about? That jumpsuit
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. I had that outfit for a while. I never got to bust it out. I like that one. That one I was like, I look good in this today. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know about this one. That one I was like, excellent. But I keep giving you anecdotes. That outfit almost never was ever worn because um I went to go put it on, and we had stayed in the hotel, like the Fontainebleau. It's like really close to the grounds. Like you could walk there if you wanted. And I opened the bag, and there was a miscommunication, and I thought that someone had taken it there for me, and they hadn't. Like I thought they put it in the bag. And and my manager Jason, he had to actually like sprint. He sprinted back to the hotel and had to sprint back. And I got that thing like 3 minutes before I had to go on stage. And
Oh, wow.
I've never seen Jason more in distress and sweaty in my entire life. I felt so bad for him. He was just trying to have a nice day, like, and have a beer and watch us play. And I had to make him go on like a cross country exploration.
That's a badass outfit. That's another thing you should sell at your merch stand. Just keep we're just getting more money each idea.
Yeah, well, maximize the return on investment.
Yeah.
I That's something that like in my dream of dreams, I had like I love fashion and clothing, and I that would be so cool. But the more I learn about how hard and crazy that world is to like get stuff made, the more I'm like, I'm just a enthusiast,
Yeah.
a fashion enthusiast.
So you did your whole set. You just ran through everything.
Yeah, it was the whole thing from start to finish, and then we walked up, like they have to go over a lot of notes, and we walked off stage, and I was like, I thought you were telling them that we were going to be a few minutes late, and Michael was like, I thought you did. And I went, and I just ran away, and I ran to our little green room. I was like, everyone leave me alone, I'll be right back. And so, unfortunately, Michael has to stay to go, say all my notes, because I'm like, let's be honest. You wanted to talk, you want to talk. It's okay. He can sit this one out.
Now that you're warmed up, like I'm not asking you to scream, but how, as like one of the greatest screamers ever, can you teach us novices, just how could we'll never be able to scream like you, but what's something we could do to warm up to try to do it?
You really just need to warm up like you would with singing. You can't do, it's the same for you, like talking on the radio all day. When you feel like all this tension, like if let's say you're not talking properly, maybe you got excited and you talked a little loud or a little quick, and you just have all this like tension. People think that you should have a lot of tension when you're screaming because, a lot of us, like, we're really into it and we're making like this really scrunchy face and everything looks all tight. Like you look really like you're going, like lifting weights. But in actuality, that's kind of the performance aspect of it. And then really inside, it's all about being relaxed. Like if like when you watch the sprinters in the Olympics and they're going so fast, when they put them in slow motion, you can see like their whole face is like jiggling up and down, because every other muscle that you're clenching up is for no reason. It's taking away from your job. So that's the biggest thing, is to relax. And then, there's a big difference between just like going in your car and screaming along to a song and then like really actually hearing yourself in a professional setting. You realize you there's someone there like mixing your voice and quieting the frequencies you don't like and bringing up the frequencies you do. And you have compression on your voice. So, you can do that on your computer in a whatever you use for your DAW. And it was just like, I think that is what the missing thing is for people, is just having the confidence when they actually hear themselves, not just like doing it on your own. It's always going to sound a little more weak on your own. And, just don't push yourself. It's not supposed to hurt. It's your voice. It's okay if your muscles get a little sore, but if your throat hurts, you got to stop.
But how do you do it and not isn't the whole thing pushing yours? Like, I don't understand. Like, of course, I'm not a singer.
It's your stomach. It's the same like if you were deadlifting or squatting or something. Like imagine if you clenched your whole like upper body and then didn't clench your core. It's just like a core thing. It's very different. Singing is more like an accordion, going out in and out with your lower belly, like you're just breathing air. And then screaming is more like
you're like a belly dancer kind of.
Yeah, like a little, you don't know what's going on under there, a bunch of wiggling around. And screaming is more like, if you were needing to do something that had to do with your core, if you're like throwing a punch or you were doing a squat or something like that. For me, the way I do it is really loud, and doing it loud is not as like safe for your voice. You see guys that have a really quiet scream. If they take the mic away, they're actually like, that's more healthy in the long term. But I just do it how I do it. I've always done it that way, and I like how it sounds.
And one day you just realize I'm good at screaming. Like how did someone like you? It's like, maybe did you love metal and you just started doing it, or?
No, it took me. I just like a couple of years ago was like, oh, that sounded really good. It's like some people, I think it just comes naturally, just like singing comes naturally to me and a lot of people. I think some people just like probably felt confident like trying a little earlier on in life. And I didn't even do it once till I was like 18. And it's like it's a little bit of a workout, and you got to train yourself to be able to do it right. I'm still figuring that out myself.
But you said when you just sing, it's actually from your stomach. Because I always ask great singers, how they sing, because there's karaoke singers and there's good singers, and it's like it comes from your stomach. Like Jacoby from Papa Roach told me he sings from his taint. That's how he does
Yeah.
it.
It's like it's why like the most insane thing are people that are singers and they dance, because those are like basically opposite things. Dancing, you need your core. Singing, you need to relax it. So that's why that's like, you know, a huge, you know, people that can do that really well are like superstars because it's very hard. Um, and so yeah, I think that Jacoby is right about everything. So that's gonna be my new.
Yeah.
I'm taking that. I'm taking that on from him.
You guys were nominated again for another Grammy Best Metal Performance. Last time you lost to Metallica. This time you lost to Gojira, which I think was one of the that performance at the Olympics was so awesome. That was
Yeah.
hard for anyone to beat that, because it was such a it was
And
such an awesome performance.
in my opinion, that was the most, you know, the biggest like mainstream moment in the history of metal. Most metal bands don't hit mainstream in any capacity like that until they make more mainstream music. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't know. I feel like a lot of metal people, they equate mainstream with, oh, sorry. There's a, like the hand dryer thing in there. It's like, it's haunted in here and just goes off every once in a while.
Oh, that's okay.
Use that. But you know, like I don't mean mainstream in a bad way. I just mean like more accessible to lots of people. But
Yeah.
Gojira, like that's why it was so shocking to me, and I think to like the world who was kind of like scared of that performance, is that like they didn't like do anything. I don't think they compromised anything. Like,
Oh, it was so unexpected too. No one thought that would happen, and it was so cool.
yeah, I think it might be the most metal thing to ever happen on TV, ever.
I agree.
Ever, like, because a billion people watched it. So it was funny because they're very humble people and they're really nice and really supportive of us. And so we were all like in the lineup to go like do the Getty images together. And um, they were like, whenever I talk like them, I always put a cigarette in my hand. I was like, they're like, no, you're going to win. And we were like, guys, you opened the Olympics, you're winning. And you know what's so funny? They were so, I really think they thought they weren't going to win because they sat like so far in the back. They almost didn't get to do their speech. I'm like, guys, get up to at least come to the 10th row. Like, you got to have, you know, but so I'm really happy for them. Of course, I'd love to win a Grammy. That sounds awesome. But
Yeah.
it, when there's only one medal award, all the other people in there are awesome. And I don't think anyone is sad to lose to those other people, because there's only 5 bands that get to be picked to be nominated for that every year. That's the only award for metal.
And 2 years in a row for you. And then the girl called you Poppy, which was hilarious. And you're like,
That was,
yeah, you're like, yes, my name is Poppy. And then they interviewed you as Poppy.
yeah. I thought to myself, I was like, oh. And then I was like, I always like a funny opportunity. And so I thought about how funny that is. And I feel, you know, people are like, how dare that lady not know? I'm like, guys, that lady does not know who the F I am. She is reading off a card, and someone should have handed her the card that said Courtney, and they accidentally handed her the card that said Poppy, I think.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know, I don't take offense to that. Like, I'm not a person that feels comfortable in a gown on a red carpet. Like, that's not that's not my vibe. You know, that's very new to me. That was the first time I ever did that. So I thought that was really funny, and I knew that Poppy would find it really, really funny. And so I left, and the guys were like, how was your interview? And I was like, they called me Poppy, and I just went with it.
That was hilarious. It was so funny. So your husband, who's in the band, Mike, was supposed to be on this interview. You said he's doing the thing with the what's it called?
Oh God, what is he not doing?
The sound check and all that stuff. But I was going to ask you, because I actually want to ask both of you, do you ever get sick of doing everything together? It's like you guys are always together doing everything, interviews, playing together, living together, traveling together. Like, do you ever get sick of just being around each other every second?
No.
Oh, that's good then. Then that's a great relationship.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like I'm so thankful because like I can't sometimes it's hard for me to relate to all my friends and my crew. Like we have a dog now and I'm just torn to pieces leaving my dog. I can't imagine all of my friends that are leaving like their wives and their husbands and their kids. It's
Yeah.
really hard. I think everyone like during the pandemic, I think when everyone got to like they weren't able to tour and they were home more, I think that made a lot of people reflect on like how rough that is. So, I'm really grateful that I don't have to do that because that's like one of the biggest obstacles of being on the road. And that obstacle is like removed from me and Michael, So I'm very, very happy that, I'd be so proud of him no matter what he did. And so that the fact that he like understands what I'm trying to do with my life because he's doing the same thing, it's really cool.
Yeah. No, it's great that you have that attitude because a lot of people would have the opposite attitude. And like you said, it's way better to be with him all the time than never seeing him.
It's like it's just how we've always been. We always even worked at like the same job because I think we've just always had this goal of making music together is the fun part and running a business together is like the other rewarding part. And we've always just been plotting our world domination together. That's just like, it used to be like a fantasy and now it's our job. So it's awesome. It's just always
And
been
you
that way. Love it.
and you guys live on Vancouver Island, which is kind of like, right? Isn't that like, don't you have to take a boat to get there? Like it's not easy, right?
Yeah, we actually moved to Los Angeles last year because we were just basically living there anyway. Because we do our rehearsals here, record our music here, and being on the island is it's one of those things where it's really big. There's like a million people that live on it, and it would
Yeah.
take you a whole day to drive up the whole island. It's really big, but if you realize you're on it when you try to leave it. You try to get back to it.
Like I know you're from Alabama, but he's from there, right? So like I just imagine him like trying to like see live music when he was a kid and like it must have been really hard because I can't imagine a lot of bands go to the island.
Not at all. And I when I started touring, like that just like opened my eyes to so much incredible music because there a small band couldn't afford to come to the island.
Yeah.
Expensive to bring all your stuff there. You have to stay there like 2 extra days pretty much because the ferry stops running at 9 at night.
Oh
And then you
geez. That's horrible.
yeah, and then or in a really big band, like there's only one big arena to play on the island, so they wouldn't go there. So, unless you had like a lot of disposable income, you couldn't go over to Vancouver, pay for the ferry and pay for a hotel and take, 2 days off work. I never really got to do that much. So I didn't really get to see a lot of live music, honestly, until I started playing in bands and in a band from the US. And that really blew my mind getting to see all that.
Do you guys ever consider doing for your people there on the island? Do you ever consider doing a yearly residency so they could see you guys like 5 days in a row, like every year?
I really don't know how many fans we have on our island because we didn't ever have a chance to do shows there, really. I mean, I've done 2 shows there.
Oh wow, really?
Well, our band started in like 2017, but we didn't even have a full band until like 2018 and then 2019. And then we played our one we made our own little show right before we went on our very first little tour in Europe opening for other bands and that was in February 2020. So um we were all separated from each other for like a year and a half almost. So it was a long time before we really had done a lot of shows. So I have not gotten a chance to play Victoria in a long time. But right now, it's that same problem that other bands always had why I didn't see them. Like the places that I can play are they're either too small or it's too big. It's like
Yeah. Well,
Goldilocks and the bear.
let's get it. So you're playing the bigger arenas. I mean, you're getting close. You're playing much bigger places now.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people from there are like, oh, you're in a band now, you know, but I'd be curious. I think I would be nervous to put something like that on sale, but it's like my dream would be, it's a really small place and there's not a lot of like all ages venues for people to play. If I won the lottery, that's like one of the things I'd do is like make a venue for people to come through and play and have like one that had like how they do it in Europe. Like there's like a place to sleep and a kitchen to make them food and stuff.
Yeah. You don't know,
but I have to win the lottery first.
Knowing what those kids are put through living there, right? Wouldn't it be cool for you guys just to play a park every year? Like, could you just do a free show? I bet you'd get a massive crowd.
Yeah, I would do that. Right now, it's just I have to choose between doing a fun thing and doing a practice thing. And right now, there has not been a single day in the last like 4 months that I could get all of my crew to come to the island. But it's definitely something. It's definitely something I really would love to do, and I think it would be even more fun if it was like a surprise thing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like we told them the day of or something.
That would be really cool. That's what Jack White does. He basically goes to smaller venues and he announces the tickets are on sale that day.
So, yeah, that's so cool. I saw a video in time where he did that and then he like pressed the vinyl that was being recorded.
Yeah.
Like by the end of the show, all those people got the vinyl.
Yeah. That's so cool.
That they just saw happen.
So you're in London right now and you just played Brazil. What's the best audience? Because those Brazilian crowds look crazy. What's the best crowd you've played in front of?
That wasn't even our show. That was Bring Me the Horizon show. Like we were an opening band, and those people are like professional music fans.
Yeah,
like they clock into work, and it's time. They're at work. Like I don't know what it is. I didn't know that it would actually be like what everyone tells us it's like. And everyone was it's like intimidating if you've never seen that, like been around that before. But you know, the fans there are very, very serious and they wait for you. We got in at 5 a.m. So we figured then there wouldn't be a lot of people. And there was all these people waiting, just all these people waiting outside the hotel. And it's so nice. Oh, there's the ghost again. Sorry. It was so nice because it's like really, really supportive, grateful people, but not like entitled. Like they're very polite and respectful. And it was like a drug. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can't explain it if you've never done like entertainment, whether that's like sports or music or whatever. Like it's the biggest rush. And that was, I've been opening for bands for a couple of years. We've only had one headline tour. This is only our second one. We've had a lot of cool opportunities to get to open for all these awesome bands. Of course, we're going to say yes. We got a lot to learn and we got a lot of, new fans to make. But that made us feel like rock stars. It was so cool. Yeah. I hope I can do that again. Like, I would love to go down there, but just even like the feeling of like people singing along with you and stuff. Couldn't even hear myself.
They don't even speak English, and they're singing every word.
And they light off flares in the crowd.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a guy that was dressed as Jesus. Everyone held him up, and he held up the flare during one of our songs. And then he got kicked out, and then he went outside and bought like a bootleg shirt and then came back in a new shirt and got back in there and lit a flare again. The second coming of Christ, if you will.
I'm so excited. Tsunami Sea is out today. Go get it. The video's out.
I always try to not think about it very much until this is, when it's like the month before and I get like an alert on my calendar, 1 month. And then, I get a little bit stressed out because this has been my own private thing for so long, and only people that like I very much care, like trust, and I'm like cool to be vulnerable around have heard it. And then I'm just I'm so excited to put it out because I want to play these songs and I want to share with our fans. And I also just I'm so curious to what people think. That's like the one cool thing about the internet. It can make you feel bad, but I think it's fascinating because you get to hear what people like actually think of your music.
Yeah.
And they're not worried about you, you know, standing over them being like, "Do you like it?" Um, so I'm really excited. Like it's been a long time coming and I love these songs so much. So it's like just another I now get to play these songs live that I've been dreaming of playing live for a while now.
Well, the first three are so awesome. So I can't wait to hear the
Thank
rest of the album. And Tsunami Sea comes out today, March 7th. And Courtney, thank you so much. This was awesome. I love your band. You guys are great. And thank you. Thank
It'll
you
be
so
fun.
much.
All right. See you later.